what is going on there, Reject? I'm in focus. Okay, good. Just make sure the camera's in focus. What's going on there, Reject Nation? Greg here today. So, yeah. This is gonna be a bit of a weird video. I'm not the kind of guy to just like be like, hey, I'm gonna talk about another YouTuber right now. And it's not like a call out video or something like that. In fact, it's quite the opposite. I wanted to talk about Chris Stuckmann. In case you guys don't know who Chris Stuckmann is. He's an alright YouTuber. He's kind of struggling right now. No, Chris Stuckmann is one of the biggest, probably the biggest movie critic, solo movie critic on YouTube. He's one of the few YouTubers that whenever he uploads a video, I at very least make a note that I'm going to watch that video today or at minimum tomorrow. I will watch it. I am Stuckmannized, to say the least. And I want to talk about what he's been doing as of late with what he's been pursuing in filmmaking. Then the question was posed to me, like, why do you want to do this video? Like, this is something I've been thinking about for a couple weeks. Like, why do you want to do this? You know, like, why do you really give a shit about what Chris Stuckmann's doing? You know, what do you care about this? Then I thought about it and I realized why what his journey is something that's very personal for me. So in this video, I'm going to share something that I have not talked publicly about. I feel like it's important for me to express this personal story because that would explain why I'm even here trying to show support for Chris Stuckmann right now. In case you guys don't know, most of you probably already watched Chris Stuckmann, but in case you don't know, about 8 months ago, there was this big announcement and deadline about how Chris Stuckmann is writing and directing his own feature film. And it was a big day, and it was really exciting, and especially for someone like me who already looks up to Chris Stuckmann to be able to do a feature film. A little bit jealous, but mainly proud of the guy. And then a couple months ago, he did a video where he was expressing that there was a lot of delays that happened with his movie. One of the catalyst moments of it had to do around the time of the whole IATSE strike situation, and then eventually led to him realizing that, you know, they'd be able to probably cut corners with their filmmaking, that he could probably make an okay movie. It more than likely would not be able to become the movie that he sought to make, that he envisions, because of the funding they currently had at the time. So what he ended up doing was launching this Kickstarter for his movie, and oh boy, in like 24 hours, it made over $250,000. From my understanding, it's on track to become the highest grossing horror movie on Kickstarter, and believe me, there's a lot of them. And it's currently the highest trending campaign in the horror movie category, which is a big deal because there's a lot of those. So full disclosure, couple things. I have pledged to this Kickstarter. Secondly, I want to make this really clear. No one reached out to me like, hey, Greg, saw your channel. Any chance you want to like promote this? That's not what happened at all. In fact, I am the one who reached out to Chris Stuckmann myself. You know, real quick, I'm sure I could find a clip of Chris Stuckmann describing what this movie is. So let me roll like some footage of Chris explaining what this movie is.
Shelby Oaks is a horror film about missing paranormal investigators who were very active in the YouTube sphere around the mid-2000s when the platform first launched. The film explores the dark legacy that group uncovered and how it has ever-reaching effects, even 12 years into the future, as the lead paranormal investigator, Riley, is desperately searched for by her older sister, Mia. And as Mia begins to uncover disturbing leads related to the disappearance of the paranormal paranoids, she discovers evidence of a hidden supernatural evil dating all the way back to her and Riley's childhood.
I really support this project. I really believe in him as a filmmaker. I mean, you watch his movie reviews, this guy clearly knows what he's talking about, and I think it's just a fun journey to see if this guy can put his money where his mouth is. So if you're able to support the Shelby Oaks Kickstarter, please, there's a link in the description box and pinned comment. I'm going to make sure to do that. Unless, of course, you're thinking about pledging to our Patreon, and then pledge to our Patreon. It's, no, I'm just joking. Yeah, no, share support for Shelby Oaks. Now, really, the only extra touch I can give to this is why what he's doing means so much to me in my personal life. Some of you guys might know this, that my main passion is actually in screenwriting. That's right, the jackass who's always talking about Marvel, DC, and Star Wars actually has a big passion for psychological, supernatural, horror-driven movies, like Chris Stuckmann's movie, like that genre. I'm like, that's mainly what I write in. Cool. Yeah, it's like it goes without saying that for someone who talks about movies for a living and then is able to go on to making his own, that alone is inspiring. But there's a little bit more to the story than that. So the past few years, there's been a couple of projects. One project I was public about on this channel, which I do got to acknowledge. And yeah, some embarrassment that just like rose up out of me out of that, just remembering. And then there's another project that I've been waiting for, like my baller Chris Stuckmann move, like for this movie to get announced. And then when you're reading through the paragraphs, you're like, what is that Greg Apple's name? Like I wanted that situation to happen, but yeah, that's I have to talk about this. So the first thing, there's a movie that was in development that we were working on that I co-wrote, and we had a lot of like pretty big people attached to it. It just really seemed like it was going to be made, and then the team behind it was like, yeah, you should make an announcement on your channel. And even at the time, I was like, are we jumping the shark a little bit here? You know, shouldn't we wait till we're like actually really filming? We went ahead and did it, and yeah, and then it looked like it was about to happen, but then didn't. Scheduling conflicts occur because everyone's working all the time on their other movies and stuff. Like they are, I'm not, but they're working on their movies and stuff. And admittedly, it was pretty like it was embarrassing to like make a big announcement, feel like, guys, I got something special to share with you, and now it's not happening. But it's not dead. I can't say it's dead because it's really just one of those things that's on pause right now. And this other project was something that I did before that. See, like I don't really want to give any names here. A couple years ago, there's a gentleman I met who is quite revered in the industry, in the profession that he has. Like he's really well regarded. I got to meeting him one night and at a friend's birthday party, I believe, and we just talked about movies all day. We really just, you know, we clicked, man. You can feel the sparks, man. He's a great guy. He's like a great guy. Then a couple days later, he hit me up and he's like, hey, I actually have this movie idea. I've had it for a while, and I got all these this concept art to develop for it. Like, do you want to write it? And I was like, yeah, let me have a shot at writing this, because that's always been my dream, is to write. Through the 1.5-year process, it was like a long process of writing, then rewriting. Eventually got it to a studio. I won't say which one. It's not one of the major ones like Warner Brothers or something. But it's a studio that more than likely you have heard of. Got to the studio now owns it. I signed the contract, signed the deal done on my end. I'm square. I'm good to go. And that was about 4 years ago, I want to say. It was a while ago. I was proud of that because not one bit of that process, even from meeting that gentleman, he had never seen the real rejects. So I was actually proud of the fact that I didn't have to use any of like, hey, we got a following on YouTube in order to get it fine. Like, I don't think there's anything wrong with that personally. I think that's like, use whatever tools you have at your disposal. I 100% believe in that. I was just kind of like giddy about like, I didn't have to do that. And the script got to where it was. And I'm such an amateur at this. I'm so like intermediate at this. And this is a big part of why I think Chris Stuckmann's Kickstarter is so rewarding. I don't understand so much of the ins and outs of the business side of things, you know? Like they literally can do whatever they want with it and my name will just be attached. Like that happens all the time. And honestly, like 99% of the time, a lot of people don't realize this, a vast majority of screenplays just sit on shelves. They don't actually get made. That's within like these studios, whether they be small or big ones. Most don't get made. But like every few months, I will get some like random update, which I'm grateful for, and they're usually like really cool updates. They're updates that get me excited. They're updates that make me feel like, oh my God, this is actually going to get made. Because at the end of the day, that feeling that Chris Stuckmann expressed in his video, knowing the optics surrounding him of YouTuber turned filmmaker, now going to make his own movie, there's going to just be a whole like much more critical eyes on him to see like, hey, he's been criticizing shit for a while. Can he actually get this done? And for me, I'm like, no one's really going to take me seriously unless there's something actually made, and if it's made, it has to be good, of course. But like something has to actually get made. And for the past like a few years, I get some random update every few months about like, hey, it looks like it's actually getting a shot. We're going to start gearing up in December. We're going to start gearing up in February. There's always like, we're going to start gearing up to do this. We're going to start gearing up to do this. We're going to start gearing up to do this. And it's in the hands of so many other people, and other people you got to answer to. And I like, there's just so much I don't personally quite get about it, especially when working with these studios. Like there's so much I don't understand. And then my favorite updates, honestly, if there's one that I always find really positive, the lead character in that project, which I really do believe in, by the way. I think I like the script a lot, and I think it would be a really cool movie, but the whole thing's just out of my hands. The main character's a lady, and there's so many actresses I just love, who will read it and then they'll want to do it. But then all the kind of things Chris Stuckmann talked about, funding issues, shooting schedule conflicts, because like everyone who's already involved, they're working on other things. And then like we have one actress who I was like, oh man, that would be nuts if we got her. And she wanted to do it, but there was a certain time frame that she wanted to film at where the director, he couldn't make that work because he was working on something else at the time. A whole bunch of different variations of this story have happened so many times, you know, and also it was like pretty demotivating for a while, you know, because at the end of the day, I think most of us don't want to just write. Like a lot of us, a lot of people who write love to write, but at the end of the day, it's like you want one of these to get actually made, right? What he's done while he's working with producers, obviously you have to, there's no way. He is taking this into his own hands as much as possible. It's not dealing with a lot of the things, a lot of the feedback, I'd say, I'm being kind of careful with my words here, a lot of the feedback that I've heard of, like, oh, maybe we got to change this, cut this, work around this. And it's like, oh, man, it's really harming the story. Like a lot of things I hear, I'm like, that's really harming this. And the stuff I'm writing is not like crazy budget shit. You know, it's around the ballpark of what Chris Stuckmann's actually aiming for. So I get it. Like I really sympathize with him in the situation. The fact that he's doing it this way, taking this leap, something that was posed to us for the project that I announced here, when that got put to a halt, they were like, do you want to do a Kickstarter? I was like, nah, I don't really want to do a Kickstarter. I had a lack of confidence at the time. So I'm here to announce we are launching our Kickstarter. No, I'm not going to do that. No. The fact that he like pushed past that fear, decided to launch it, and now is seeing so much success. It's like almost at $500,000, this Kickstarter already. It's going till the end of the month, I want to say. Why I believe even more in this project now than before is because he already was aware of the pressure of having to basically prove himself, right? He was already aware of that. Now, when you're receiving, you know, financial support from your own audience, like these are the people you wanted to then to pay to see your movie. Now you're receiving financial support to get it made. He's gonna make it better than ever. Like, let me put it to you like this. If he had just only gotten like the money he needed to really fulfill the vision he had from a studio directly, instead of having to start a Kickstarter, let's say he just got that money, I think he'd make a good movie. I don't feel like it'd be as good as the one he's gonna make now. Because when you have your audience supporting you like that, there's something in you that has to click. And then from the brief times I've talked with this man, who's a very, very kind person, very kind, very sincere, as about as sincere as you'd expect him to be, especially if you watch his videos, you know that he's going to take this more serious than ever, and he's going to try to make this even better than before because of the fact that he knows his audience is throwing down money to help support his movie. And his Kickstarter, he's aiming to show you the ins and outs, the nitty gritty of the development process, just trying to get one of these goddamn things made. And I love that he's willing to share that, because there's so much of it that I could have used. And the fact that he's doing this as independently as possible with a team that he obviously trusts, with the support of you guys, he's making this like a collective community experience. I think it's a great path for a lot of us to go down, because 99% of the I live in Los Angeles, all right? So throw a rock out the window, you're bound to hit a screenwriter or an actor, you know, like you're gonna find someone in this building alone. I know there's like other people here who are also in the field. Hey guys, I wish I thought of this when I was filming it, but I'm trimming this down right now, and I'm realizing that he's getting this all done while staying in his own hometown, which is also incredibly inspiring. I can't tell you the amount of people I've met that have moved out here to try to make it happen, and then they get discouraged and move back home and just don't follow their dreams anymore because they feel like they didn't make it out in LA. And he's proving that you can do this while being in your own hometown, building a community out there. That is seriously like mesmerizing to me. I'm getting nipple chills just talking about it right now. What he's doing in the indie filmmaking route, I think, is very inspiring and is conquering obstacles that a lot of us can learn from. And so, yeah, I just want to throw my support for him publicly, and I wanted to encourage you guys to support the project as well. And yeah, and if any of my things ever get shot, I'll let you know, you know. But thank you guys for being here. I really appreciate you like kicking it with me for now. I'll talk to you guys soon.